Ladies and gentlemen, Dan here, the voice behind ThatKaitoDan and the Kaito Cooper, and welcome to the first entry in a brand new series for me, Kaito Chats, where I basically chat about anything on my mind or hot, usually in the world of anime or games. It's a little late, I know, but after several issues common to me and letting sure as much information came out as possible, we're here now, so let's finally chat about the newest addition to one of my all-time favorite series in gaming, Kingdom Hearts HD 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue. It's still not as strange a title as 358 over 2 days. For those of you not in the know, 2.8 was revealed at this year's Tokyo Game Show recently, and will contain 3 projects in one collection. A HD console remake of the previously 3DS exclusive Dream Drop Distance, a cinematic movie called Kingdom Hearts Key back cover set to venture into the universe's distant past before the Keyblade War, and finally, Birth by Sleep 0.2, a fragmentary passage, a previously teased, now reborn Birth by Sleep Volume 2. So some tasty sounding things to look forward to in this newest checkpoint on the road to Kingdom Hearts 3. So let's kick it off with talk on the collection as a whole. Oh, but just a heads up first, possible big spoiler warnings for those of you who aren't up to date on the series so far. Continue watching at your own risk. Now, before the Tokyo Game Show event even began, we did have rumors of something called Kingdom Hearts 2.9 being a thing, based on this guy's LinkedIn page. A lot of people were wondering that with the timing of this page making the rounds and it being just before the Tokyo Game Show, that it would lead to this 2.9 project being revealed. Of course, now we know something was revealed, but it was 2.8, not 2.9. Now, it could have just been a mistake on the guy's part and he got the wrong title down on the paper or something, but the guy was seemingly there for 10 months, and if this project he worked on was actually 2.8, then he also got the wrong information down about the platforms, since 2.8 is only coming for the PS4. So what gives? Was it a fumble, the title got changed at some point, or was there more to this still? One thought that I had was maybe 2.9 is still a thing, and could be a later collection of all the recent remix collections and 2.8 as a full series legacy bundle before Kingdom Hearts 3 rolled in. But in an interview with Famitsu not long after 2.8's reveal, Tetsuya Nomura himself confirmed that the next game in the series to be released will be the long-awaited Kingdom Hearts 3. So it would be a little bit odd to see a collection of games setting up Kingdom Hearts 3 be released after it, and it wouldn't exactly be a collection fitting the title 2.9 if they did it afterwards, with 3 included. It also didn't work out when it comes to the LinkedIn page, mentioning the 2.9 project coming to both the PS3 and the PS4. The killer for this idea is that 2.8 has content that will be using the Kingdom Shader visual style, the one that will be seen used in Kingdom Hearts 3 via the Unreal 4 engine, an engine that wasn't made for the last generation of consoles, so it rules out 2.8 ever coming to the PS3. There is the possibility that the guy did in fact work on 2.8, so we gotta consider the content that he referenced. He mentioned some idea planning and stuff to do with bosses, but he also mentioned Attraction Flow, the theme park based special moves that are set to debut in Kingdom Hearts 3. So maybe 2.8 will have some form of Attraction Flow debuted in here instead. It could be a neat way to tease how the mechanics of it work in Kingdom Hearts 3 a bit early, though I'll go more into that a bit later. Either way, this whole package looks to be the resident Kingdom Hearts entry for 2016, going off in Nomura's plans to try and release a game each year, which to many including myself seems to say that Kingdom Hearts 3 will be the 2017 release. I'm actually fine with this, as even if it means more waiting, it's all for the sake of Kingdom Hearts 3 getting all the time that it needs to make sure that it's a fantastic game, worth the wait. Now we got something that will touch on things before the Keyblade War, which is an event heavily ingrained into the present day matters. We see what Aqua had to go through in a short teaser for Kingdom Hearts 3, and we get another chance to play through one of the most vital games in the Dark Seeker Saga's timeline. I definitely suspect we will hear more about these projects and its contents at, say, Japan's D23 in November, and as we get closer to its release. But for now though, let's move on to actually talking about some of the projects, starting with the last game in the series to get the HD treatment, Dream Drop Distance. Now with the past 2 collections, there's always been one final mix entry, finally letting many in the West add its exclusive content. However, for 2.8 and with Dream Drop Distance, that game has no final mix. With that being a thing, I considered the idea that beyond just the expected 3DS to PS4 improvements, that they could add in some cut content that makes this version a bit more of a final mix light. Sadly though, I don't think that can work, as bar some visual changes and some reworkings to the Dream Eaters, there's not much that they could add back in. So in the end, anything new will be from the game seemingly getting a lot of things reworked to better accustom to being on the PS4, and switching from the handhelds to the consoles, though to what this actually means in great detail we don't really know just yet. One big improvement though that I hope comes is work done on the bosses, cause good lord, some of them can be such a frustrating and unending pest, especially Wargoyle and Young Xehanort. Yes, a solid and testing challenge is common for the series, especially as we play through the game, but for a multitude of reasons, these 2 fights in particular are such a trek, and improving them would help them not be so negatively received. It could be work on the AI, fixing the collision detection on some of their moves or their wild combo potential, but at least something to help these 2 not be quite the annoyance that they are, especially with the insane amount of advantages they have over you, and doubly so for Wargoyle given how early you can face him. And also, I would like some support or reworking for the dropping and ability gaining systems. For the drop system, I'm not too big of a fan of being forced into swapping characters and having to remember what I'm doing and what my setups are, and when it activates in a boss fight and you get back to them, the enemy's health is restored, leaving all of your progress in the dust. Remove that from happening and maybe do something like extend the amount of time given even without drop me nots, or have it so drop me nots can be used without sacrificing a command slot for them, and it at least would become less of a headache. As for the ability gaining system, it's another thing I found a hassle. I'm not really one for pet simulators either, so having to do pretty much that in a series that's rather active just to gain some of the best abilities in the game can be a pain. Something done to this like speeding up the process would help the issues I have here flow away, especially with this being on consoles and not on the handhelds where you can play it on the go. And speaking of some additions ideas, even though Nomura said that any of the sort wouldn't be large in size, what is the possibility of Dream Drop Distance having some new story scenes added in? Coded in the 1.5 collection got some scenes that tied into the future there, so what if Dream Drop Distance gets something added here that could be additional tie-ins to Kingdom Hearts 3? Especially since this is the game that is the most present in the timeline, and ties in massively to Kingdom Hearts 3's narrative. Though this might be a hope a bit more suited for 0.2, and I'll go more into that later. Either way, I am quite excited to dive back into Dream Drop Distance again. It is a game that I do have some negatives about, but the positives are there for them to counter with, like seeing the World Ends With You characters, some of the enjoyable gameplay traits like flow motion, even some of the twisting moments of the story. And with the game looking to be revamped for the PlayStation 4, despite the confusing at times plot and a sloppy Sora, it's gonna be interesting to return to this game for its fresher take. It might not be the first thing in 2.8 that I look at, but it will be fun to have another swing at this game. Going back again to the 2.9 rumor, in wondering what it might contain, I like others wondered on anything from Kingdom Hearts Key, the mobile game, being included. What could they add that won't ruin the need, beyond the gameplay, to play either Unchained Key or the original? Yet, here we are, and with Kingdom Hearts Key back cover. Another one of those odd titles, but given the back cover of a book has a brief premise on what's inside, this is pretty much what back cover is here. It's said to be a cinematic movie set in the very early origins of the Kingdom Hearts universe, and is the foundation of the story that's contained in Kingdom Hearts Key. Set before the legendary Keyblade War, the Master of Masters handed parts of the Book of Prophecy to 5 of his 6 apprentices before vanishing. The book has the power to predict the future, and in this book, the apprentices learn of a prophecy, the world falling into darkness and light being wiped out. Thus, they formed groups, with many a Keyblade wielder brought in to join, as they look to stop that prophecy from coming true, though a traitor is plotting within their numbers. That's the basic premise that we'll most likely see explored in this cinematic, to at least let the story in the mobile game still unravel there, while still giving something for those who might not be able to play it yet, or at least set up some simple points of interest. It does also, as well, all but confirm with its inclusion in 2.8 that the foretellers will surely appear in Kingdom Hearts 3 in some sense, given how important they seem to be, and we should also see what Daybreak Town, the main hub of the game, looks like in 3D, since it's possibly going to show up in Kingdom Hearts 3 as well, especially with the movie looking to be using the Kingdom shader. We didn't get much in the way of back cover footage during this 2.8 trailer, just some text and a shot of a stained glass station, but if you look at that footage, it definitely looks far more detailed than past stations, making for a good contrast between the two visual styles that we've seen so far in the series. As someone who's really not that informed on a lot of what's going on in the mobile game in either of its versions, this will no doubt be an intriguing watch, especially seeing what is expanded here since it's not limited by the mobile phone capabilities. I do still hope to play the mobile game if it eventually plans to come to Europe, but count me in for a watch of this once 2.8 rolls in. However, what no doubt is my most eagerly awaited part of this collection is, I'm sure, the same for many others as well. Again, when the 2.9 rumor sparked up, the guessing on its contents began, and the one thing that I speculated on the most was if it would have the rebirth of Birth by Sleep Volume 2. So you can imagine my reaction when I heard that it indeed looks to be alive and well, as 0.2 a fragmentary passage. For those not sure what I mean by Birth by Sleep Volume 2, in Birth by Sleep Final Mix, there was a playable post-game special episode, and after finishing that, we saw a teaser that had snippets of the likes of Aqua, King Mickey, Riku, and Kairi, and it ended with the words, Birth by Sleep Volume 2. Since then, we haven't heard anything about it, and looked to be either dead or on hold, while other games were in the works. Nomura himself did say that he wanted to make it, and stated that it would be Aqua's time in the Realm of Darkness following the events of Birth by Sleep, and set during the 10-year gap of Birth by Sleep and Kingdom Hearts 1. If you want to look more into the scenes shown in greater detail, I suggest you look at Cynical, aka The Gamer Joint's recent video analysing that ending. I'll put the link to it in the description down below. Back to 0.2, it definitely looks like it will be revealing some of Aqua's time in the Realm of Darkness, and we now know that the game itself will last about as long as a world's runtime. Whether that means as long as it took for one trip to complete a world like in Kingdom Hearts 1, or the total time for 2 trips that would complete a world in Kingdom Hearts 2, I don't know. But it definitely makes out that 0.2 is gonna be a prologue / demo of sorts to Kingdom Hearts 3. With regards to Aqua's situation, we already know where she most likely is in present day, at the Dark Margin where she met Ansem the Wise after his big kaboom in Kingdom Hearts 2. Will this though be a specific period from Aqua's situation with the rest to be shown in Kingdom Hearts 3, or will it be a miniature version of her entire time spent there? The setup itself for 0.2's story also sounds very intriguing on its own. Immediately following the events of Dream Drop Distance, Sora is said to be told some long hidden secrets from King Mickey, that most likely is setting up seeing this portion of Aqua's time in the Realm of Darkness. It is interesting that Mickey has been hiding something from Sora and the others that could be seen as important and possibly sparks the need to save Aqua or all of the Birth by Sleep trio beyond just gaining the 7 Guardians of Light. But why is Mickey having secrets? What would require him to do so? The last time he kept things quiet was because Riku told him not to tell Sora about his current situation back in Kingdom Hearts 2. But that was a promise between friends that I'm sure that Mickey still found hard to accept. But here, it seems that it might be something that he discovered or learned in the Realm of Darkness during his hunt for the Kingdom Key D, the Realm of Darkness's version of Sora's Kingdom Key, since in the original teaser we saw Mickey in the Realm of Darkness, but with the Keyblade that he had before switching to the Kingdom Key D, the Star Seeker. Maybe he actually comes across Aqua. But then if that's true, why did he not rescue her? Someone that he considers a good friend, especially after he feels disheartened that he couldn't save her or Terra and Ventus. It might have been his choice or Aqua's, but it definitely sounds like the king has a lot he has to spill if he's kept it for so long and yet feels now it's the time to share. Depending on also how they plan things out going into the actual events that we play, will Aqua's trek in the Realm of Darkness feature the Castle of Dreams that we saw in that old trailer? That was the world of Cinderella's that was swallowed by the darkness sometime after birth by sleep. By that point, the fairy godmother would be in Traverse Town, and Maleficent most likely had Cinderella due to her being a princess of heart. If this world is in some way a part of the game, even with the aforementioned runtime, could that also hint that we will see other worlds that were lost to the darkness? That could be what inspired the title of Fragmentary Passage, where these lost worlds could be remnants of what they once were, iconic landmarks that remain amongst the dark, like Cinderella's world being just the castle. Beast Castle could be exactly that, or Belle's Village. The Dwarf Woodlands could be even a corrupted gem cave, and even unused worlds in the series like Bambi's or Dumbo's could have the odd landmark here or there, since going by the timeline of events, those two were changed into summons in Kingdom Hearts 1 after their worlds were lost. It's a bit of a stretch, I know, but it could be some interesting nuggets amongst the still massively unexplored Realm of Darkness, and Kingdom Hearts 1 did do something similar to that idea in the End of the World. And again, depending on how things play out and if the runtime is just in terms of the playable content, will Aqua's story be the only tale that we touch on in 0.2? Like I said, the teaser did show off many other moments, like Riku during his time working for Maleficent, Kairi and the Twilight Town gang shown in front of the mansion, and other bits and pieces throughout the series. This portion of the collection will still be largely Aqua's events, but we could also get small fragments, as it were, of something else. Though I feel if they do so, it will more likely be targeted towards more present day events than stuff in the past. Maybe Lee is up to something, or we see what the newly made Keyblade Master Riku is up to. Could we see him on his way to get Kairi? Or do we see what Kairi herself was up to? I'd actually like to see something like this alongside Aqua's story, as slight teasers for what some of the main cast are doing heading into their Kingdom Hearts 3 goals, as well as seeing them in the new Kingdom shader. I'd especially like that idea of seeing Riku get Kairi to bring her to Yen's Sid, see what she was doing while Sora and Riku were taking their Marker Mastery exams, cause I felt rather disappointed that Square Enix didn't use her and have her around to support. You'd think that it would make sense for her to see her two dearest friends take the exam, especially after being apart for so long, but no, I guess we needed her to be absent until the end for the big stinger of the special ending. Back again to Aqua, and with her being our playable character in this game, the first fully brand new playable experience since 2012, I wonder how they're gonna approach the gameplay aspect for this. 0.2 is basically to Kingdom Hearts 3 what Ground Zeroes is to the Phantom Pain. A playable experience that demoed some of the upcoming features with a prologue-esque story portion included. And we heard recently from Nomura that they are looking to blend the elements of Birth by Sleep with Kingdom Hearts 3. So maybe we see the return of the Command Deck or maybe even the Shot Lock. That guy's LinkedIn page did mention Attraction Flow 2 in terms of possible Kingdom Hearts 3 elements, so maybe this could be where that's set to appear. Aqua somehow gains the ability to use Attraction Flow, even for just a moment, as a sort of big tease for us in how it plays and how it looks. Question of course then would be, how does Aqua gain all of these Kingdom Hearts 3-like elements? Is it something that she learns, or does she create it herself? That is somehow the inspiration for Sora's use of it? Or maybe it's some sort of hidden power that any Keyblade Master might be able to gain? 0.2 is the part of the bundle that I'm most excited about. Even with its size, with it being the first true sample of a game that I've been dying to play for years now, and getting to play in the Kingdom Hearts 3 visuals with a returning Aqua, and exploring what Volume 2 might have contained, is such an exciting prospect. Then to close this discussion out, what about the final ending note of this whole entire bundle? We play through some of Aqua's struggle in the Realm of Darkness with 0.2. We witness some exciting story bits towards Kingdom Hearts' future whilst exploring its past with back cover, and with Dream Drop Distance being the last big building block piece setting up Kingdom Hearts 3, what will it all end on as one last tease? A brand new teaser, or a new world being shown? One or a multitude of characters appearing? Maybe we even get a snippet of whatever move Xehanort is set to make next, following his Dream Drop Distance actions. But either way, it has to be something truly mouth-watering. Okay, sure, we got plenty here in the collection to whet our appetite for Kingdom Hearts 3, but surely there must be one big kicker this collection can end on, to finally say yes, it's time. Next up will indeed be the game that you have all been waiting for, and here is a reason to be hyped even more. But that's my thoughts and feelings on Kingdom Hearts HD 2.8 Final Prologue Chapter. God, that is such a long name. But what are your feelings? You're more than welcome to share them and opinions on what I might have said in the comments below. And if you got any questions for me or a topic that you would like me to maybe do a video about, ask me in the comments below or on my Twitter, where I most likely post updates on videos and projects and other random bits. Otherwise, that's all for now, and until next time, have a good day or a good night, and peace out.